What's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to another video. Today, man, we're gonna be looking at the 7 levels of 2K players. Before we get into it, let me set the table a little bit. So the other day, I ran into some 2K League players. And man, when I tell you we got cooked, it was just straight BTA. Which is expected, because they're professional players. But that made me realize something. There's unironically levels to this shit. And today we're going to be pinpointing what those levels are. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment down below where you fall, and let's just get right into it. So level 1 is the casuals, which is a term that gets thrown around way too much in my opinion. To me, a casual is someone who will only play the game once in a while to play against friends or family members in like plain hour or blacktop or whatever mode. For example, I'd call myself a casual in FIFA. That doesn't mean I'm bad at it, that just means I'm not as invested in it. A good measure of whether someone's a casual is whether they interact with or engage with content on the game. If you're watching this video, just off the strength of that, I'd argue you're probably not a casual. However, most of us probably started the game in this tier, so there's really nothing wrong with it if you are. Now, level 2, we're gonna call the hoopers. These are people that play a little bit more consistently. They don't really care about grinding for rewards or playing in events. They're really just there to get some buckets and hop off. What separates tier 1 and 2 is the consistency and just the base level of knowledge on the game. People in level 2 are more likely to look up a build video, but they may not fully understand the builder. They probably don't know the best badges, animations, or things of that nature. This brings us to level 3, which we will call students. So if you're in this tier, you really are a student of the game. You could probably tell, oh, that's not a good behind the back animation, or this badge is pretty useless. If you can tell what the meta or the easiest way to win is, you're probably at least in this tier. At level 3, 2K is more than likely the main game that you play. I'd probably consider myself level 3, if not in between level 3 and 4. Level 4 being comp, which is a word I don't really like, but it's a word people in level 4 tend to describe themselves with. Even though they may not like to admit it, people in level 4 care about the game on a deeper level, which is why they're usually the most vocal about their opinions on the game. They also care about win percentage, rep, winning events, and things like that. You'll usually find them in Pro AM in my career or participating in King of the Court in my team. Many people in this tier are likely to abuse the meta just because it's the easiest way to win. Winning is the most important thing for people in this tier, which is why I don't consider myself in this tier for the most part. I would much rather play with my IRLs than a bunch of sweats, even though I know for a fact we're not going to win as many games. Most people who consider themselves comp wouldn't think like that. For level 5, we got the grinders, which is probably the most straightforward. These players spend a crazy amount of hours on the game, like I'm talking a work shift or two. Even in years where I felt the rewards weren't even worth it, there have always been people willing to grind for them. I may not understand them at times, but they're some of the most dedicated people that play this game. Now here is a level that can only be reached based on pure skill. Level 6, the elite. The elite are the best of the best, the top 0.1% of players. The whole reason for me making this video was because I came up against a few of these guys. It really put into perspective the disparity in skill between them and the average player. Players at level 5 and 6 are usually the ones that determine the meta at the start of the game. They are also usually the first ones to notice even the most minuscule changes in gameplay. I know I called level 4 the students of the game, but people at level 6 literally study the game. You're probably thinking if the top 0.1% of players are level 6, then what could be level 7? That would be the anomalies. These are people who literally change the culture of the game. We're looking at Ticino, Chris Smooth, Steezo, these type of guys. A way to judge if someone's in this tier is if they've gotten people to try, do, or say things. For example, we all have at least heard of some of Chris Smooth's phrases. That being said, Chris Smooth is like the pinnacle of this level. Even on a smaller scale, when we're looking at like my league for example, KOT4Q probably deserves a spot in this level too. That's gonna be a wrap on that. If you made it this far, man, drop a like, subscribe, comment down below where you think you fall on this spectrum, and that's gonna be it. Peace.